Welcome to the Fort Myers Beach Good Neighbor podcast and the Estero Island Historic Society series, where we preserve and share the stories that shaped Fort Myers Beach, tracing the island's journey from Calusa roots to fishing village to beloved tourist destination. In each episode, we gather local voices, forgotten moments, and living memories to keep Estero Island's past bright on the shoreline of today. So settle in and listen closely, because on this island, even the sea breeze has a story to tell.
Welcome back to the Estero Island Historical Society. Is it historic or historical?
We don't want to go there.
Right,
It's a grammatical nightmare.
It's a historic society, but it is historical in its scope.
There we go. All right. Well, whatever you feel like.
There you go.
There you go. Well, welcome back. And now we're going to be talking a little bit about, you guys are doing a murder mystery kind of series, right? So I was here for the first one, which was very interesting. Didn't make the second one, but you guys are doing this. You've got a number of stories that you want to share.
Yes, we do. We kind of stumbled upon this accidentally when I read an article about the Galloway murders in 1953. So we started doing some research, and we've come up with a whole list of topics, and we've done 3 already. The first one was the Galloway murders. We did that last year, and that took place in 1953. They were very prominent members of Fort Myers Beach, and they owned the Mermaid Club, which is where the beach whale is today.
Oh, okay.
And they were both murdered, and their house was burned down. They had a house at the north end of the island. And it's kind of interesting on how it all came about. We were researching it, and we had no idea. All the news said it was a random act of violence, that these guys just saw this house, it was deserted, and did it. So I was digging through the archives and found an article from a detective magazine that said the guy that was killed, Jim Galloway, had a past that was questionable. And then word got out. I did a blog on it, and word got out that we were going to be researching it. And I got a letter from this woman from Michigan, and she had the whole scoop of it. There was a robbery in Michigan, and Jim Galloway was part of the robbers, and he kind of ratted out the other robbers, and he got a state pardon.
Wow.
He was in prison for a while.
He was in prison for a while, and it was in Michigan where he could have met the guy that killed him. We're not sure of that. We don't have that connection completely, but it's enough.
A mafia connection.
That's what we heard. It was a Detroit mafia.
Interesting.
And that this was a mafia hit. And the kind of sad thing is the guy that killed him, Ernest Moore, picked up this hitchhiker, a kid that was 16 years old, and was flashing his money around and saying, "I'm a gambling man. I want to make you rich." And so this kid went with him, and they started robbing places along the way until they got here. And then they killed. And I don't think this kid knew what was going on. He was totally clueless. They escaped, and a policeman from Fort Myers, a state trooper, they had a light out, and he pulled him over. And Moore just started shooting at him. And then he ran away, and the policeman was wounded, but he shot Moore, killed him. So this poor kid is in the back seat or the front seat of the car, just like this. But he got.
I think he had been given a gun, but he didn't.
Yeah, he had a gun.
He
but
was not in.
He was not. He was like, he wasn't an innocent bystander, but he did get life in prison, and he died in prison.
Wow.
And the sad thing, well, there are many sad aspects, but whatever Jim Galloway's background, he was a respected member of the community. His wife as well. I'm not sure where she worked, but she
was a reporter for the news press.
Oh, right, the Fort Myers News Press.
Wow.
So these 2 guys, there's various theories about how they came to Jim Galloway's house. They met on the beach. They knocked on his door. Whatever it was, I think they tied him up and they hit him with the gun, and he was either unconscious or dead. When she comes home from work, opens the door, and immediately they shoot her and kill her. And the first that the neighbors knew that something had happened was they see the flames of the house on fire. And I don't think they found the bodies until the next day, because nobody, they thought they had just bought a boat. They thought maybe the Galloways were out boating. But she was certainly not not
Yeah.
implicated in anything.
No, and we don't know for sure he was. We just know that
There's a lot of
there's a lot of mystery involved there, and how to what it just seemed to me odd that these guys were in Miami robbing houses, and then they decide, well, we're going to go to Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah,
yeah. There
I
must
mean,
have
this
been
was in
something.
1953,
exactly.
and then once you get here, well, we're going to go down the north end, and
Yeah.
so I think they kind of knew. It seemed a
Right.
little bit.
Coincidences kind of pile up. And
And he came down here with enough money to purchase the Mermaid, which was
Jim Galloway.
$30,000. He didn't build it.
Got a
It
lot
was
of money back then,
it was a
yeah.
lot of money back then.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. And the one we did, I think the one you saw was the one on the sailboat,
Yep.
the
Clea 3.
Clea
Yeah.
3.
Right.
And these folks lived on the island for about 7 years. He worked for yachts. What was it? The Olson Marine. Olson Marine, and she worked for the hospital in town. She was a nurse, and their dream was to sail the Bahamas. So for 7 years, they worked on this boat, the Clea 3, and they finally left on in August of 1980. They went around. They were sailing the the islands. That was their goal, was to spend several months, meet up with different people. Different sailing community is pretty
Yeah.
close, and
Yep.
the other people were sailing there. They're going to meet up and hang out, and they went to Pipe Cay, and that's where their boat was found in July. And he was dead. They found his body in the dinghy. They never did find her body. There was blood around it, so it was obvious that they had run into some kind of trouble. And I think it's probably drugs, because it was a big drug.
Drugs, pirates, something going
Yeah,
on
that
out
was a
there.
lot of that going on back in that day. And so,
See something you shouldn't see. And
yeah,
Exactly.
but they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. The only mystery there is who did it,
Yep.
and why did the Bahamian authorities, they did not let, the investigation went nowhere.
Because
Yeah.
I think you had mentioned that they never found her body, but they
No.
saw his body. But when they went back,
And someone photographed it, I believe,
Yeah, they had
from an
plenty
airplane.
they had photos of it.
His body covered up with a
wow.
sail cover.
And even the people that flew the plane over had said, yes, we have pictures of the body. And then when they went to get the boat and they brought it back, there was no body.
Right. And the Bahamian authorities were not cooperative. They basically said, oh, we don't know anything about a body. And
no body, no crime, right?
right,
Mhm.
exactly.
Wow.
There was drug dealing activity in that area at the time, right? And
Yeah.
I believe one of the main drug smuggling people who was he Bahamian or was he American?
I think-
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know what his, I think he was American.
he was
Carlos Lederer,
right.
something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, Mexican. Perhaps.
Yeah, and he
yeah,
had a big cartel on Norman's Cay,
right.
and that was close to Pipe Cay. So they're thinking that he had a drug deal going down,
Yeah.
and either they were in the way and they got rid of him, or they actually witnessed it and they got
Yeah.
rid of him.
Right.
So we don't know who did it, but we do know that that was probably what happened.
And that was their maiden voyage on the boat.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was too bad. And then the last one we did was very local. It happened on Randy Lane, and that was the murder of Fern Morningello. That was the one we did last week, and that was kind of fun because there were people here who actually knew her and knew about the house and could provide a little bit
Yeah,
more.
detail.
That was in the early
Interaction.
2000s.
That
right?
was in 2002.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is a little bit mysterious. It's the body was found 5 doors down from where they lived,
Floating in the bay.
floating in the bay. They found the gun right by their dock.
Wow.
So, and then there was a lot of blood evidence in the house, and they found the body was tied down with bricks, and they found bricks matching that in the house. So they arrested the husband, who claimed that they had a fight on July 15th. She walked out, and he didn't report her. Well, he never reported her missing.
But she used to travel to Europe. a lot
Yes, she
on her
traveled.
own.
Yeah, so she stormed out when they had a fight and said, I'm going on vacation without you, because he was going to go visit his daughter, whom she did not like.
From
So
the previous
Yeah. So they had a fight, and we don't really know what happened, but I think it was sad was that it was a whole month went by before she was identified.
Really?
They found, because she had nothing on her
Yeah.
to identify her. She was wearing gardening type clothing. They passed around pictures of the clothing and the bricks and knocked on doors, and nobody knew she was missing, so
Yeah.
nobody made a connection.
Yeah.
Right.
And people that were at the meeting said, we all, and I don't remember that. I don't know where I was at that
Right.
week. But he said that we all thought it was like somebody fell off a shrimp boat, or nobody knew it was going to be somebody from Randy Lane.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And then finally, what happened was,
Well, he blamed his son.
he was blaming his son once they arrested him, because his son was a drug addict who was dead, so it was easy to blame
Oh,
him.
Had been living with them. They didn't get along. The son and Fern did not get along. So the father cast suspicion on the son and said, "Well, it was probably him. I don't know anything about it."
Yeah, and he called Fern's niece, and she lived in Alabama, and this was 3 weeks after the murder.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get in touch with Fern, and couldn't do it. So when he called, she was really happy to hear from him, but his first thing was, "Is Fern with you?" And then she got, "Well, no, Fern's not with you. Where is she?" He goes, "Well, we had a fight and she left." And she says, "Well, when did she leave?" "Well, she left about a month ago." And then the woman asked, "Well, what did the police say?" And he goes, "Well, I never called the police."
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Master criminal.
Yeah.
she called the local police in Alabama, and they contacted the Lee County Sheriff's Department. So once they had a missing person report,
Then
they identified the body, and that's when all the news broke. Because we went looking, they got copies of the Beach Bulletin and the Observer and the Sandpaper at the library, and we kept looking for July 18th to see if there was a body found.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then when we looked in the Observer for the 24th, which would be the week after they
Yeah.
would have come out, the front page was torn out.
Mm.
So I don't know if there was an article on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't front page news if there
Yeah.
was, and we didn't find anything else in any other paper. So I just don't think it was a big deal, an unknown body,
Yeah.
Right.
until they found out who it was.
And there were also stories about flyers, missing person flyers being placed in mailboxes in the neighborhood that were then, from some of the closest neighbors, were removed. They never got the flyers.
Right.
So it was.
And they found the flyers
Yeah.
in his house.
That's right.
So he was collecting them.
And I believe he went to prison. He was convicted. Right.
Yeah, the first time, though, was a hung jury.
Right.
And it was 5-1. One person held out, which was, thank God.
Mm.
That one person stuck with it, because they said they didn't present enough evidence connecting the crime scene with the husband.
Yeah.
But the second trial, they went again, and they only deliberated for 3 hours and found him guilty. So he's 84, 86 now.
Right. I did read something in the archives, the files of the prison, that he had died, but I have never found official corroboration of that.
No,
so we
I
don't know
never-
if he's still alive. or
Last
if he
I
died in
saw
prison.
it said he was still alive,
Okay.
but I'm not.
These
I'm
are
not sure
part
of
of these
that.
are some of the mysteries.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Where is he?
Finding the whole story is not
the
always
mystery
easy.
stays a mystery.
And the whole defense was, this guy was an aeronautical engineer, and it was like, why would he be so stupid as to,
Well,
shoot his wife in the bedroom, dump her in the bay right next to his house.
Right.
Book smart
You-
and street
Yeah.
smart.
Right.
And he obviously didn't know how much weight to put on her, because she
Yeah.
popped right up.
Right, yeah.
Right. The ropes broke, and they also found, I think, the same kind of rope,
Rope,
in
yeah.
his house. So
Wow.
it was,
Wasn't the best at that.
was not the
Interesting.
best.
I love the series though. I love what you guys.
Yeah,
are
so
doing.
that's what we got so far. And next year, Janet's going to start out with the
Right.
Snug Harbor people.
Right. There's in the fall, perhaps for Halloween, we do
Yeah.
like to have a gathering around Halloween. We'll do the story of Lois Ann Reese, who was from Minnesota, ended up here on Fort Myers Beach in 2018. And I don't have all the details in
Yeah.
front of me, but I remember that she met a woman at at a bar on the north end of the island. Just, they were chatting and they became friends, and they started going shopping together on various outings. And they just became fast friends, as sometimes happens. You meet someone on vacation, you hit it off. And then the woman that she met, who sadly her name I can't remember at the moment, but she was staying in a condo at Snug Harbor because she had come down to help a friend spread her late husband's ashes. And she invited Lois Ann Reese up to her condo for a drink. She serves her a drink, goes to the bathroom, comes out, and is shot dead, point blank. Her body was not found for another week in the condo. But in the meantime, surveillance video showed her car driving away that same night. So once they put the pieces together, it was pretty clear who did it, but that woman was gone, and they were trying to figure out where she had gone. And there's a whole chain of events that led up to her being here, and what she left behind in her hometown in Minnesota, what she was actually fleeing, which we will talk about. So the mystery in this case isn't really so much who done it, but what led a person, Lois Ann Reese, who had been a homemaker, a respected member of her community, a doting grandmother. What happened that led her into basically what became a little crime spree that ended up in the death of someone she had never known before and just met. And that was probably, that woman was killed for her identity. Her identity was stolen.
She purposely picked her, right? Because she looked like her.
Because they were almost the same age and they looked quite a bit alike. So I think the mystery in that one is motivation and what causes a person
to do something
like that completely out of character. So we'll talk about that in the fall.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
No, I love this. True crime is a big podcasting platform, and people tune into that. So
we have more stories.
Oh yes, we have more stories. Yep, and we hope to put them together into a book.
Very nice.
So that will be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all of it. Well, thank you again for your time today. And
thank you.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
You got it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for spending this time with the Estero Island Historic Society, where every story is a tide that brings our island's past back to shore. If today's episode sparked a memory or a question, we'd love to hear from you. And we hope you'll visit us at the museum and check out our events on Fort Myers Beach as we keep exploring the journey together. Until we meet again, may the island's history walk with you, one footprint in the sand of time. To hear more episodes in this series, go to EsteroIslandHistoricSociety.com or FMBGoodNeighbor.com.